Hello everyone, welcome to Literacy. Today we will listen to a story written and illustrated by Oliver Jeffers. This author shares his imagination with us through his colorful illustrations that you will see on every page and his storyline that you will hear on every page. This is a story about a boy who wants to catch a star in the sky and how he goes about trying to do it. Let's let our bodies nice and still. Eyes will be looking. Ears will be listening. Our mouths will be quiet. Hands to ourselves. Feet are crossed if you're sitting on the floor. If not, get comfortable in a chair. The brain is going to be thinking about all the ways that this little boy will try to catch a star. My heart will care and show respect to our families, our friends, our teachers, and to our wonderful schools. Our story today is entitled How to Catch a Star, written and illustrated by Oliver Jeffers. About a little boy and how he tries to think of ways to catch a star. Let's go read and find out. How to Catch a Star by Oliver Jeffers. He's the main character. Here's our title page, How to Catch a Star by Oliver Jeffers. Once there was a boy, and the boy loved stars very much. Every night the boy watched the stars from his window and wished he had one of his very own. He dreamed of how this star would be his friend. They would play hide and go seek and take long walks together. The boy decided he would try to catch one. He thought that getting up early in the morning would be best, because then the star would be tired from being up in the sky all night. The next day he set out at sunrise, but he could not see a star anywhere, so he sat down and waited for one to appear. He waited, and he waited, and ate lunch. And waited. And after dinner, he waited some more. Finally, just before the sun was about to go away, he saw a star. The boy tried to jump up and grab it, but he could not jump high enough. So very carefully, he climbed to the top of the tallest tree he could find, but the star was still way out of reach. Again, he thought he might lasso the star with the life preserver from his father's boat. But it was much too heavy for him to carry. If only he could fly up in a spaceship and grab the star. But the only spaceship he owned was made of paper, and he didn't fly well at all. Perhaps he could get a seagull to help him fly up into the sky to reach his star. But the only seagull he could find didn't want to help. The boy worried that he would never catch a star. Just then he noticed something floating in the water. It was the prettiest star he had ever seen. Just a baby star. It must have fallen from the sky. He tried to fish it out with his hands, but when the boy reached out to touch the star, it just rippled through his fingers. Now the boy was sad, but in his heart, the wish just wouldn't give up. Slowly, he began walking home. That's when he saw it, washed up on the bright golden sand. The boy had caught a star of his very own. Wow. Now, if you had to predict, do you think that that truly was a star? Or do you think it might, perhaps, could have been a starfish that had floated to the shore, and he did pick it up, and it did become his very own? Well, why don't we work on some activities today that I think you'll have fun with? And this will be the response page that will give you the directions. What are some of the ways the boy tried to catch a star? Now remember, that key word is tried. He just attempted these. He thought of ideas and he tried them. We don't know if they worked until we finish the story, and we know that instead of a real star, he did find a starfish. But let's talk about the ways that he did try. So this will be the response page. It'll be the first idea he had, the second idea he had, the third idea, and the fourth. Now within this space, you'll do your illustrations. On the line, you will label. I think I'm going to label first. I know that this first idea was to jump. Today we're just putting words. That was his first idea, that he might jump. So, the little boy did jump. So I'm going to put him up a little bit. And you know, it's always important to show details in your illustrations, so you can explain that this is his shadow, that he did jump up high. Of course, don't forget that star. I'm going to do the best I can to draw a star. That was his first attempt to jump. The next idea he thought about was that he was going to climb. He thought that if he tried really hard to climb up a tree, then he could reach for it. Now, if you notice in the readings, Oliver's illustrations are unique and different. And if you ever became an illustrator, you could draw yours as well. But this looks like the kind of tree that Oliver would draw. He liked to add his branches, but within his tree, for some reason, he liked to draw squares. And they were all shades of green. And then he colored in a golden yellow. That's how Oliver drew his tree. But remember, the little boy tried to reach for the stars after he climbed the tree. So I'm just going to add the star again, the best that I can. So first he tried to jump. Second, he tried to climb. The third idea was to lasso. Now, it was a great idea for him to get the life preserver that was in the boat of his dad's. So I'm going to call the life preserver that looks to me like a donut. I like donuts, don't you? So he tried to lasso the little boy, and he had his string, and he wanted to take the string and try to throw it up, but it was too heavy. But he did try to lasso to catch that star. Now the fourth idea was that he wanted to fly. So that was his idea. He had it in his head that he would fly in his rocket ship to go catch a star. The rocket ship that he found in his closet was just made of paper. But that was his idea, that if he could just fly in his rocket ship to catch that star, he would be so happy. Well, you just showed us many ideas of ways that the little boy tried to catch a star. But at the end of the story, as you well know, he couldn't catch that star, but instead he found a starfish floating on the ocean floor by the beaches. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.